What would you do if a powerful person offers you the equivalent of $20,000 to just consider abandoning your vocation in favor of a different good work? The Marchioness Barolo made this demand to Don Bosco. How did he respond?
The Miracles and Prophecies of Saint John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Welcome to the Miracles and Prophecies of Saint John Bosco. I'm Adrian Fonseca. These videos exist to share the timeless wisdom from Saint John Bosco that can transform your spiritual life today. Have you ever been pressured to compromise your deepest convictions for comfort or security? Well, today's story will show you exactly how to stand firm when powerful people try to pull you away from your vocation for a lesser good. You'll see how trusting God's plan can give you strength to face any opposition, no matter how enticing. In 1846, Don Bosco just received news from the Marchioness Barolo, one of the most influential nobles in all of Piedmont. She had returned from Rome with papal approval for her new religious order. She called upon Don Bosco to give him an offer. Let me paint you a picture of who this woman was. Marchioness Barolo was not a villain. She was a deeply committed Catholic who had just spent months fighting for papal approval for her religious order. She had dedicated countless hours praying before the Blessed Sacrament and made numerous trips to meet with Pope Gregory XVI. When she finally succeeded on May 6, 1846, after what felt like an impossible battle, she returned to Turin with ambitious plans. And Don Bosco was central to those plans. And she looked at this young priest who had been helping her with many charitable works and saw exactly what she needed. Someone with his energy, with his dedication, and his obvious gifts. But there was one problem. Don Bosco was spending too much time with those dirty, loud, unpredictable street boys. So she made him an offer that most priests would have jumped at. She wanted him to give up his work with the boys and focus entirely on her refined, well-organized religious institutions. To sweeten the deal, she offered him 5,000 liras, that's roughly $20,000 in today's US dollars, just to take a vacation and think about it. But what did Don Bosco say? He looked this powerful woman straight in the eye and said, "Madame Marchioness, I did not become a priest to cure my health." Can you imagine the tension in that room? This wasn't just about money or comfort. The Marchioness genuinely believed that she was offering Don Bosco something better, a chance to work with educated, grateful people instead of ungrateful street children, a chance for security, prestige, and an easier life. But Don Bosco saw something that she just couldn't. He recognized the difference between a good opportunity and God's calling. The confrontation escalated. The Marchioness stopped asking and started demanding. You can feel the pressure building as this influential woman who had just successfully battled the Vatican bureaucracy, when she turned her formidable will toward this stubborn young priest. "You're spreading yourself too thin," she insisted. "Give up some of your work. Focus on what really matters." But Don Bosco stood firm. In his own words, he told her, "You have money and means aplenty, and will easily find priests as many as you wish to direct your institutes. For the poor children, it is not so, and therefore I cannot and must not abandon them. At this time, if I withdraw, the fruit of many years will be lost. So for the time being, I will gladly continue to do what I can for the refuge, but I will cease my regular employment there to give myself more purposefully to the cultivation of the youngsters." Put yourself in that moment. A wealthy, powerful woman is pulling her financial and emotional support away from someone who's devoted his entire life to helping abandoned children. The Marchioness challenged him. "And where will you live? Without a salary, how would you be able to survive?" Don Bosco's response reveals the heart of today's story. "I will go where Providence calls me. God has not let me lack anything so far. and I trust he will not fail me, even in the future. She gave him 3 months to reconsider. 3 months to choose between security and his calling. Don Bosco never wavered. He understood that when God calls you to something specific, even good alternatives can become distractions from your true purpose. Don Bosco's trust in Divine Providence wasn't just about that moment with the Marchioness. It became the foundation of everything he built. He relied on God's provision through faithful supporters who believed in his mission. People who understood that helping abandoned children was responding to God's call. That same spirit lives on today through our monthly promoter family. When you become a monthly promoter of Saint John Bosco, you're not just supporting these videos, you're joining a spiritual community united in prayer and devotion. You'll receive daily mass intentions and daily rosaries prayed specifically for you and your intentions. Plus, beautiful spiritual resources including Don Bosco's own writings. And just as the Marchioness heard her calling and Don Bosco had his, maybe God is calling you to be part of something, maybe something like spreading these timeless stories to souls all around the world. If that resonates with your heart, click the link in the description box down below to become a monthly promoter today. When God calls you to something specific, even good opportunities can become obstacles if they pull you away from your true vocation. The Marchioness wasn't offering Don Bosco something evil, as she was offering him something genuinely good. But Don Bosco understood that good isn't always best, and that God's specific calling for his life was worth more than comfort, security, or even the approval of powerful people. And you know what? Don Bosco kept moving forward on his steady path. He relied on God for everything. He understood that God had called him to help poor children, and believed that God would keep providing for him. This faith carried him through life's hardships. Have you ever faced a crossroads where you had to choose between two goods? How did you stay true to God's will? Take a moment to think about it, and if you feel comfortable, share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. Sometimes we need to hear each other's stories to recognize our own calling. And before I let you go, I want you to click on the video appearing on your screen right now. When a noble warrior becomes Don Bosco's most dedicated teacher, you'll discover the inspiring story of Marquis Dominique Fossati, a noble military commander who traded his prestigious court life to teach catechism to poor children at Don Bosco's oratory. Thank you for joining me today. Saint John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you, and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.